Fayette County membership dues as well? Oh, okay, it's just the other, the $250, the $25.
And then there's also a fee to help offset the cost of the district and state rate. That's 25 areas also.
It's 25 for district and
We'll double check it for the district and state.
the district's 25.
Right.
State 65, it's got 65 for the state, they've got the huge civics that are recently.
All right. And
I will want to elect a chair and secretary of the convention, and that's just a pair of members to run the business of the day. May have some speakers like we did last time. Ramsey and a couple of folks got up and advised us of some of the key bills that were going through the legislature, and that's very relieved because of a lot of people's support with Denise's committee. HB 87 passed by a 2/3 majority on Wednesday. So get to the website and do the same sort of email and phone campaign for the senators that are listed there.
I would like to have Lane explain the step-by-step process leading up to that.
Once we start the convention at 10 o'clock, the credentials committee will take the information, everybody that's registered, and begin meeting to prepare their credential committee report. And so you will feel like during that time there'll be speakers, there'll be some time that people were kind of killing so we can determine who is legally there to vote and who can vote. So that'll take a little while. So those of you that this is your first convention, you'll think, we're just kind of killing time, but we're really not, because we've got to determine that everything is done legally and everybody there that's supposed to be there is there legally. But after they come back, they'll come back after the speakers are done and give their report. And what they'll do is, for example, we have Greg Dunn here in Willow Pond, the chairman of the Willow Pond precinct. They'll come forward, and each precinct they will tell how many delegates you were allocated, how many people you elected at February 12th meeting, and how many people are here today. And if you elected alternates, how many of them you can move up. I know a number of precincts elected alternates. And then after their report is presented, if there are no challenges, then it's adopted, and then that determines how many delegates that we have there that are legally eligible to vote. And so then after that, then we'll go to the business portion of the meeting, and that is when we elect the chairman. The floor will be open for nominations. Or do you want me to stop there? Or?
Well, the chairman and the secretary, and they're elected, and they will serve in that capacity for the duration of the county convention next Saturday. That's Liz.
I have a question. When do we see the slate that the committee's putting forward?
That will be later in the day.
So they don't even show us who they are till we get there?
Say that again now.
We don't get to see the slate of people? That
Well,
they're
we're not
nominating?
there yet. We're getting there.
Before we get there, I mean.
No. It will not be finished until after. Well, Greg, you want to explain?
Yeah, we can't put it out now because we still are interviewing people at the convention. I'll have an office in the back with my committee, and people can come in and talk to us.
Oh,
Because
okay.
some people couldn't make it to the other meetings that we've had already.
Oh, okay.
So, and also it gives people at the convention time to say if they want to be an alternate or a delegate to these other conventions too. And so when we finish that, we'll come out and we'll report to the whole convention at the same time, all the lists, all the delegates, everything. And then you'll have plenty of time to peruse them and do whatever you want with them.
So how long do you think this meeting will last? What is it?
Several hours. Several hours.
I was prepared to be there till about 1.
Yeah, it's reasonable, but if there's a big fight on the convention floor, I've been at some that lasted until 8 o'clock at night.
No fighting. I don't think.
No challenges, please.
The chairman of the convention and the secretary will be one of the first things that happens, and that will happen before the nomination committee presents their slate. Okay.
All right, then we've got, in this election process for officers, the delegates, the alternates, as Greg said, the nominating committee will present recommended slates. And for the officers, 17 positions. And that slate will be presented, have an opportunity to kind of look on there. And there are a couple options at that point. We could vote on the entire slate as presented, no changes. Looks good to a majority of people, and it's accepted. Now,
What I anticipate doing, and there may be some other folks that have the same idea, but don't be surprised if I stand up as soon as the slate is presented and I make a motion that we accept the slate as presented with the exception of this position, and this position. And that motion will then, of course, need to be seconded before we can proceed with the vote.
Wouldn't we get a chance to read it over and stuff before you jumped up right then?
It will be, Greg will be presenting it.
I will present it, and I will be making a motion that we do, that the convention accepts what work we've already done.
Okay.
At that point, all the precinct leaders will have the list. We're gonna pass those lists out this time, we haven't done that in the past. But they're gonna have a list of them. And there will be a time, and when I make a motion, there will be a second.
Then I plan
Then
to
it's time
stand
for
up and make a
then it's time
second
for
with the
discussion.
exception of those few positions
It's
that we
time for
make.
discussion, and then if somebody has that kind of an objection, or they want to nominate somebody totally new to one of the positions, then we would take them out. Hopefully, we can do the slate as it is presented, but if we can't, then if there's one or two positions or something like that, that are still being debated, that's fine. But the best thing we can do is vote the rest of the slate in. It's not a challenge. We don't want to do each position, or we will be there to Wednesday. You know, so the fact is, I'm trying to get a slate together. The committee's been working really hard, and I guess they've been really very open to new suggestions.
I wasn't planning to challenge anything or anything. I'm
No,
just trying to
I
understand
understand.
how it works. I promise you I'm not.
But he's correct. If anybody in the hall, doesn't have to be Harold, it can be any single person in the hall wants to nominate somebody against one of those slots, they can do it. Now, they have to also get a second to do that. And I'm sure Harold will have one laying in a wing.
So ordinarily,
No.
when you make a motion and it's seconded, and then you call for discussion, there has to be a vote on that motion before he can make his motion. That's the ordinary rules.
Unless I second it with the exception of.
Oh,
You do that,
okay.
then that's really not.
That's a new motion.
That's a new motion.
Yeah. Ordinarily,
Don't worry, we'll get it done right. I'll make a motion, somebody will second it, and then we're not going to shut out anybody. That's for sure. So if there's any debate whatsoever, we're not going to cut it off. I can guarantee that.
And you will be handling that, or the chairman
Oh,
of
no,
the
the
convention?
chairman will handle that.
Chairman.
I'll do my job and get out of the way.
Oh.
Greg, y'all customarily have, a screen or something up there that all the delegates and everybody can view the slate that's presented?
No, because the slate's not even ready till we walk out the door.
Right.
And then we go right up and do it. So there's no time to do that kind of thing. But we will have copies for every precinct leader. And they can take them back to their tables and show them around. We'll pass them out, and we may just delay it a few minutes so they can peruse them before we make so you can see what they got.
Appreciate it very
Yeah.
much.
Will each one that's recommended, will they get a little talk, maybe
No.
make their pitch, or?
Now, people can ask for that too, but there's so many positions, I think that it might not be a good idea time-wise.
And what are the mechanics of the actual vote once we get either the slate as is or as amended? Is it a raise your hand? Is it a voice vote? Is
It
it
can
chips
be,
and paper?
we've been at conventions where it was done both ways. Somebody makes a motion from the floor, for a secret ballot, that's what you get. They say, just have a show your hand vote and nobody objects, that's what we do.
As you interview these people, where do you get their names? I mean, how do you, pardon my ignorance here, but how do you decide on who's going to be on the slate?
They come in and
They tell you they want to be.
yes, we've been interviewing people for 3 weeks.
Okay.
The several people in this room have been interviewed. None of them are gonna be on the list.
You all. How many people have you interviewed?
About 25. And I know of at least 2 more that will be interviewed today at the convention. They can come in that day too. And come in the back office with them. They can be interviewed then.
And
Some
that's
people
at
just-
10 o'clock, right?
Pardon?
That's,
No,
once
9
it
o'clock.
closes, that's when you go into session at 10 o'clock.
Well, no,
We go
I've
in
got,
before.